Well, hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Blog Rundown, where we discuss all the latest written reviews from our writing team here at MBE. What is up first, John?
Up first, Stephen, is a little review from DM Anderson. This is a foreign language Korean film. I will give it its proper title, despite not being Korean, and I will butcher it, but I don't think anybody from Korea is either listening to the audio or indeed watching it, so I don't think it matters much.
I'll check those stats later on, John.
Yeah, he's checking later on. We do get listeners from all around, but I digress. Going off into a tangent right away. Not a good start of the show, Stephen. This one's called Chang Gwol. The English name is Rampant. This is directed by Sung Hoon Kim. It's written by Jo Hyun Hwang, Shin Yun Won, Hwang Jo Yoon, and it stars the likes of Hyun Bin, Dang Dong, Jan Dong Gun, Kim Yoo Sing, Jong Man Sik, Sho Win Jin, Lee Sun Bin, and Tim Kai Woo. Now, I apologise, Stephen, in advance to anybody who perhaps is listening to this from Korea or who can perhaps speak Korean. If you're out there, sorry for butchering your language. I'm Scottish. I can barely speak English.
Yeah, we butcher our own language, though.
Exactly. But I've not seen this one, Stephen. Surprise.
No, I'm the same, John. When I did see it coming up, and I did see the first paragraph from Dave that comes up as from the studio that brought you Train to Busan. I hate when they do that. A lot of Asian films do that. I remember one called Hero. It starred Jet Li, and it said from the producers of Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and the film has been introduced by Quentin Tarantino. I don't quite get that. It had no connection to
What's
the film.
What's this film called, Steve?
It was called Hero.
Hero.
Listen, I'll just from the kick-off from Dave's first paragraph, it did make me laugh because it is true, you know, and he makes a comparison with, you know, going into a 7-Eleven for a bag of Funyuns because you really enjoyed the Twinkies there that once sold you. And it's true, you know, I hate when they do that. I hate when you see that in movie posters when they say from the producers of.
Yes.
What I have read, not just from Dave's review, a lot of people saying that it's not so much a poor man's Train to Busan, but that's the benchmark, that film, and anything made similar to that it pales in comparison, sadly. But that's not to say it's not a film that you shouldn't go and see. It seems to be getting a lot of good feedback as far as the visuals go, which you're always going to get from Asian cinema anyway. That's one thing they do put their heart and soul into is the visuals. We saw the trailer as well, John, you know, because we've not seen the film. I didn't really see much difference in both trailers, John. Maybe a couple of scenes.
Yeah, kind of embellished or expanded it a little bit in some of the scenes that have hinted at in the first one. But I really enjoyed the trailers, I have to say. It's got me intrigued, that in conjunction with also the review itself, Stephen. But it's an intriguing concept. It's also essentially what I'm getting from the trailers and from the review. It's a kind of a inner politics of this tyrannical leader in Korea. I think it's a dynasty or something like that in Korea. Tyrannical leader, King Lee Jo, who's played by Kim Yoon Sung. He's also this aging, ailing, tyrannical leader. He's the young prince underneath him also kills himself, gets his brother to come in and save his child. So you've got the inner politics of that. That's sort of a throne room dynamic. But then to the side of that, you've also got these zombie threat sort of creatures coming in.
Saw them in the trailer.
And then also it's a race against time, I think, to get the child to China, I believe, as the review does say. So by all accounts, taking this alongside some of the other reviews I've read on the likes of Rotten Tomatoes, it's a hit and miss film. It says on Rotten Tomatoes 64% fresh rated by the critics. It's only 11 reviews. 55% liked it from the audience, just 72 reviews. So this isn't a film that's been seen widespread in Western society.
I kind of gathered that, John, when I went on IMDb earlier to check out the ratings on that as well. I think there was only about 9 reviews in all, and that's very unusual.
And only 793 ratings in total. So,
and I think the film only came out in the tail end of last year as well. I think it was November or December. I can't remember. I read it somewhere, but it's not been out that long. To be fair, over here, certainly in Scotland, we don't really get a lot of Asian cinema, unfortunately.
We don't, no.
It's always the sort of the big budget ones, the likes of Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, or the House of Flying Daggers, etc., which I saw both of them in the cinema. This wouldn't be in the cinema here in Scotland.
No, it wouldn't. The best bet of getting a film like this, Stephen, would be to go to the likes of the Glasgow
the film theatre.
That's where you get these smaller, low budget productions and also the foreign language sort of setups, you'll go there and you'll get them. But certainly not in mainstream like Cineworlds or anything like that.
No, definitely not. No.
You're not going to get them there. But look, man, it's saying, as I did say, it's a little bit muddied in a sense. The sense of place, the sense of stakes, and the sense of zombie power and peril. They're saying it's muddled, but then the opposite to that, saying that it's a swashbuckling, bloodthirsty South Korean affair. It's a rocking genre mashup, and that you might get. It says that you might get if Hamlet were being chased by the undead for 2 hours. So that's intriguing to me. Taking a great Shakespearean story and flinging in zombies, so that's intriguing, very much so. But look, man, I've really enjoyed the review, I have to say. I definitely get a great deal of enjoyment out of reading it. I just love his kind of analogies at the beginning of the review. He does that a lot. We've seen it with Denny's previously. And he even says himself, it's a creative mashup of action, historical epic, and bloody horror. So I love a good zombie film, Stephen. And as I did say, I watched the trailers and I really did enjoy the sense of scale from the trailer. But then you've got that kind of introspective sort of a vibe going on as well when you go into the inner shots, where he's dealing with this tyrannical leader. And I did get a sense, having not seen it, I don't know if this is a spoiler, but at the end of the trailer it was heavily hinting that perhaps this leader is on his last legs, he may die, and he may have perhaps been bitten by one of these zombies, and then it's shaking up a little bit, him maybe turning, how that's going to change the dynamics.
I got that from the trailer as well. One of the other things I picked up from various reviews was that a lot of people were saying the plot was very weak. It's a glorified zombie film. You're not really going to get a lot of twists and turns in there. It's going to be very straightforward. There might be a little bit of drama, with the relationship of the main actors in there, but I don't know. But I get that kind of sense as well from that trailer. Yeah,
the Lee Chung guy that Dave mentions, also the arrogant prince at the start, he goes through quite a transformation into a sort of a heroic zombie slayer. I liked what he says about it being a slow burn affair at the beginning. It's taking its time to introduce the main players in the story, although he does say it often becomes bogged down at the beginning. The first act's very much bogged down with a lot of heavy dialogue scenes, which don't really pay off as the film goes through. He's wanting to get right into the zombie action, which is something I really enjoyed in another zombie affair, which kind of done a mismatch of different genres, to a lesser extent than this though, in Overlord, where it was a zombie affair, mix matching obviously classic World War II period setting with a bit of stakes in there as well, with a young girl and her family trying to save, I believe it was her younger brother. So they mismatched that, but they never really dwelled too much on the dialogue at the start, or indeed developing the characters. They get right into the zombie aspect at the end of the film,
as
middle to the end.
Films do, John.
And that was great. The way they paced that film, the way the tone was, everything was perfect for me. They never overstayed the welcome.
I don't think there's much character development in most zombie films, to be honest with you. Most horror films, there's not. It's really cut to the chase. But I've got not much more to say, John, on this.
No, the final thing I will add to this before we move swiftly onward, Steve, is that the last thing that I took from the trailers was just the choreography, as you did say. Very fast paced. Very nice aerial shots, sweeping vista shots that look stunningly shot, filmed, whatever the hell you want to call it. Some amazing wide shots, great utilisation of that scenery and the landscapes, and the fighting sequences looked very slick and very cool.
The zombies as well, I think they were kind of grey, and the way they were almost beast-like, the way they were moving.
Yeah, well, they're calling them night demons, but you're right, it almost reminded me of World War Z, the way they were moving, quick-paced.
A bit like that, and those creatures that were in Wakanda and Infinity War as well, the way they were just piling over the top of each other, they were just absolutely rampant.
So it's not the classic Romero. Georgie Romero, is that his name?
Yeah, it's certainly not, John.
The slow-paced ones. I prefer them.
But we'll move on to our next review that came in. This one came in from Philip Henry, and it's Stan and Ollie, which came out, I think it was actually tail end of last year it came out. It did the rounds of the film theatres, but I think its actual release was early January, wasn't it?
Yeah, January 11th or something, or 15th.
Well, it was because it was about maybe 5-6 weeks ago we went to see it. So, I mean, this stars John C. Reilly, Steve Coogan's in there, Shirley Henderson, and Nina Arianda. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Nina Arianda,
And it was written by Jeff Pope, and it was directed by our very own
John S.
Baird, who's from Scotland. I loved Philip's review, John. It kind of took me back. I do remember Laurel and Hardy being on Saturday mornings on BBC Two as well, here in Scotland. That was my introduction to Stan and Ollie. And I like what they did here. They've deliberately not called the film Laurel and Hardy for a kick-off. We're not going to go down that road of looking and delving into what we already know, this was always going to be the untold story. I think it actually says it in the poster there. It's the untold story of their relationship.
But it's very deliberate.
Yeah, and what I like, and what I like the way that Philip's built the picture of this. For anyone that's not seen the film, is that it starts off when they're at the height of their game, and then it fast forwards onto doing their tour of the United Kingdom. And what I got from this was that John C. Reilly as Oliver Hardy was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. And Philip does say this was in the back of that terrible Holmes and Watson film as well.
Yeah, I never went to see that.
And Philip says as well, this is where it shows, that if, you don't give the actor, the proper tools, he'll not be able to do a proper job. Certainly in this case, he did do a proper job. Steve Coogan, the guy just amazes me. I've been a big fan of his for the last 30 years as a comedic actor, and all his characters that he created. It's only over the last maybe 6 or 7 years I've really took notice of his serious acting. And Philomena, it was another film I reviewed. I can't remember what it's called for the life of me, but it was a while back, John. I did it. It was a very good film. It was, I think it was to do with the death sentence, and he was. I think it was an officer or something like that. He was an official in a prison, but I can't remember what the film was called.
I'd never get
it. It was maybe around about 2013 or something like that, 2010. I can't remember, John. But
The Look of Love?
No, it wasn't that. But listen, I digress anyway.
I've not seen it.
Just getting back to the review and the film itself, I got a lot out of this film. It was what I expected. We saw the trailers very early on. I think it was maybe autumn time over here, I think it was. We got the first trailers, and we knew right away it was going to have a lot of drama. It was going to be very emotional as well. But it was interesting to see the characters that we were used to seeing on the big screen in Laurel and Hardy were actually flipped in real life. Oliver Hardy on set or on scene, on screen, was always the serious one, the one that was always trying to stifle.
He was kind of smacking his head together and saying, "Come on, get a grip."
Exactly, and in reality, it was the other way about.
Yeah, it was flipped about.
I didn't know that about Hal Roach though. That he kind of ripped him off in those early films. He took most of the income from those films as well. So I can actually understand why Stan Laurel was the way he was. He was trying to look after their performance, and their name, if you like, very much like Paul McCartney with your man who came in. I can't remember his name.
Oh yeah, he was a manager for the Rolling Stones. Oh God, I can't remember
his name. Big fella. But it was very much the same. He's trying to protect their own sort of right, and I got that from this review as well. That's something. Alan Klein, that was it. Yeah, and I didn't know that about Roach. I knew the name's synonymous with Laurel and Hardy, but I didn't know that's the way he treated them.
No, it was very educational, Stephen. I have to say, it did emphasise the introspective sort of a off-screen nature of these two guys' relationships, how it impacted upon the two of them, how it impacted upon their wider family, their wives, their two wives, as Philip quite rightly highlights, didn't really like each other, but they were forced to spend an inordinate amount of time together because of the close bond and just the working relationship of obviously Stan Laurel and Oliver Hardy. But as you did say, Stephen, that was a great thing I really get out of it. Looking at this introspective relationship, look into their relationship behind the scenes, because everybody has seen Laurel and Hardy on screen when they're doing their act, and they're just iconic. They're a dynamic comedy duo, the greatest for me that will ever live. Just what they did, and really monopolising obviously comedy throughout the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, and I'm sure that was a decade. As you did say, they transitioned perfectly from silent movies.
I was a big fan of the silent pictures and the talkies when they made the transition to that. But I was also a big fan of the likes of Buster Keaton and Harold Lloyd was another one, more of the silent films. But they two were the ones that stood out for me. I think it's because I seen both. I saw the silent movies and I saw the talkies as well. They don't have to do a lot of talking to, raise a laugh.
It's just the mannerism, Stephen.
Exactly.
They just had it.
Yeah, exactly. That's it, John. They had the chemistry.
They had the intangible quality as well, that comedic quality about them, just the way they were bungling about. I mean, I recall, I don't know if this was one of the talky ones, or whether it was a quiet, silent one, where they were trying to go upstairs and get a piano out of the house and ended up throwing it out of the window. and then the donkeys coming down the stair. I'm pretty sure that was one of the silent ones. So just the fact that they didn't even have to utter a word, and
but,
you got
but
that.
I do understand why they had to rely on that kind of style. When they didn't have sound, they had to rely on visuals more, but they were just the absolute masters at doing it. Them and Harold Lloyd.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously Charlie Chaplin's the other one, Stephen, an absolute pioneer of that silent era and just the bungling antics. But look, again, as I did say, everybody knows what they're like on screen, what their personas were like. But to see this different side of them, a personal side, seeing them at their lowest ebb, because everybody, when you associate, look at Laurel and Hardy, I'm having an absolute mare.
I was doing the same.
Yeah, but the opposite way about.
Yeah.
And when you think of Laurel and Hardy, you immediately think of the glory days, the 40s and the 50s, when they were at the absolute, the 30s and the 40s, I should say, when they were at their absolute peak, starring in a whole host of great short films and stuff like that. You never think of the quieter, down in the dumps days in the late and mid 50s when they're going on the tour of the United Kingdom.
That's right, yeah.
This is what this film does, and you're absolutely right, Stephen. The choice to call this film Stan and Ollie, to differentiate it from Laurel and Hardy, I thought that was very deliberate, and to show, look, this is these guys in a different light from what you've ever seen before, highlighting this personal side of them in their lowest ebb. And I really enjoyed it. I liked the fact that it showed and highlighted Stan Laurel as the more serious workaholic guy who worked himself into the ground.
His resentment for Oliver Hardy as well, which surprised me when I watched it. I've got all their films, as you know, John, the DVD box set that I got years ago. I've never read a book on them or anything like that, so going into this, it was very fresh. Didn't really expect what I saw in regards to their relationship and where they exactly. You know, and there was that resentment, and I think it's because Oliver Hardy was tied into.
He didn't want to leave. Yeah, Phil does mention that in his review as well. He gives us a great little history lesson on the two of them. And he says, obviously, Oliver Hardy, just been married for the third time, kind of a gambling addict, loves his drink, loves his food. He liked the security of having a regular wage, even if it was a fairly punitive one, or puny one, whereas Stan Laurel wanted to go off, create his own studio, and obviously self-finance them. They could have perhaps got even more money, which, as we know in 2020 hindsight, looking back, that is indeed the way to go. Look at Bob Dylan and stuff like that in the music industry. Owns all the rights to his own songs. The guy's a very wealthy guy now. The Beatles sold it off, gets screwed out of millions upon millions of pounds. So we know in hindsight that's the correct way to do it. But I could completely understand Oliver Hardy's mindset as well. He's just wanting the security of the regular wage. But you're right, Stephen. That kind of a bitterness between the two that was brewing underneath. He resented him staying. He even says at one point, "You betrayed me." I'm pretty sure. So you've got that dynamic. You've got the dynamic of the two wives not really liking each other. But then the underlying and just ever strong bond between the two. They're just that love, that unconditional love the two guys had for each other. It's almost like the Beatles. Again, I keep going back to the Beatles discussing Elvis.
That's a good example.
He couldn't associate or really bounce off of anybody. He was experiencing the fame himself.
He was Elvis.
The Beatles would all individually experience what it was like. They jointly experienced the fame, and they knew how to bounce off of each other. They had that bond even to the end. Even when they fell out, it's the same with these two guys. They experienced that cataclysmic rise to fame, and then obviously they knew what it was like. Only they knew what it was like to be in the eye of a storm for that great comedy experience from the 30s all the way through. So that was great, seeing that bond surviving strong even into those later days, even though there was a hint of bitterness, even though they were at the lowest ebb. It was a fantastically crafted film. I'm giving it away, Stephen.
No.
I thought John Baird done a fantastic job.
Yeah, certainly did, yeah.
Jeff Pope, again, penning a very enjoyable script starring Steve Coogan. Obviously, he was involved in Philomena as well.
Yeah.
Steve Coogan was utterly outstanding as Stan Laurel. Phil's right, he is totally unrecognisable to any of the other characters we've seen him perform. He did look as though he'd lost a bit of weight, and we've even seen that going into Alan Partridge this time, I think it's called, which is epic. Anybody that's not seen it and likes Alan Partridge, I urge you to go and watch that show. You can see he's still not put a bit of weight on, he's still kind of a bit thinner, and he's looking great with that hair.
Drawn in,
But he was outstanding, and John C. Reilly was outstanding as well, so two great performances.
And listen, this review from Philip was outstanding as well, John.
It was.
It reminded me a lot of the things that I did forget about when we went to see that, 5-6 weeks ago. But this is a movie that I can't wait till it comes out to download digitally. I certainly will be adding it to my collection. But I don't have anything much more to say.
I've not got much more to say either, Steve. My voice is absolutely killing me here. It's crackling up. It's not good.
Fair enough.
I'm dying here.
But we'd just like to thank you once again for joining us this week on the Blog Rundown, and we'll be back again tomorrow with the Force Friday show.
If you're liking this video, then why not check out our other content on our channel. Every Tuesday we break down the top 10 films in the UK on Box Office Chat. Every Wednesday we discuss the latest entertainment news on Movie Burner News. Every Thursday we chat about the latest movie reviews from our writing team on the Blog Rundown. And we wrap up the week and get ready for the weekend with the Force Friday show, where we discuss the latest news in the world of Star Wars. If you're liking the content we are putting out, then do subscribe to our channel by hitting that subscribe button and click the bell to receive alerts.